Just a little disclaimer before I start this video, I do not mean any hate towards anyone. I don't want to spread any misinformation, so if I said anything wrong, please let me know in the comments down below. If there's any websites I should check out or anything, please let me know. I really don't want to offend anybody in this video. I just want to spread awareness as much as I can. So thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy this video. Hey there, watcher, I hope you're ready for today's video because we are going to be talking about the Every Child Matters movement. Also known as Orange Shirt Day, this movement highlights the damages that residential schools cause to Indigenous children. It is on September 30th, and for some, it's considered a healing journey. For those who don't know, residential schools, their goal was to assimilate Indigenous children into our society. The Canadian government was financially responsible for them, for at least 139 of them, which were in the IRS settlement agreement. But there was probably a bunch more that were just on the down low. They operated in every province except for Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland, and New Brunswick. They existed from the 1870s to the 1990s. The last residential school closed down in 1996, which was located in Saskatchewan. The estimate is over 150,000 children attended these schools from the ages 4 to 16. Another disclaimer, here are some terms you should not call an Indigenous person: Indians, savages, Pocahontas, and absolutely never Redskins or Injuns. From what I've heard, in the word Indigenous, First Nations, and any specific tribe name, mostly when you're close to the person, is A-okay. And the term Native American from what I've read, is a little bit more touchy because some Indigenous people don't mind being called that, and some of them do because they do not identify as American at all. So just when you meet someone Indigenous, just ask them respectfully what you can call them, and usually you should be A-okay with that. These children suffered a lot in residential schools, and here is just a few of what they had to go through every single day. They couldn't speak their native language. They had to speak either French or English. They were required to adapt to religious denominations of the school, and also to be consistent with their prayers. They had forced haircuts or shaved heads, which is actually a much bigger problem than you might think. See, long hair in Indigenous culture is actually very important. It's a strong cultural identity that promotes self-esteem, self-awareness, self-respect, a sense of belonging in family, and it creates a bond, a connection with their tribes and with creation in general. Using toxic chemicals is how they clean their hair and skin. There was no nutritious diet, there was not enough food for everybody, so they had very, very small portions of horrible and not nutritious food. They received electrical shocks, and also when they got sick and vomited, they were force-fed their own vomit. There was also a lot of sexual abuse and forced labor in unsafe work environments. And when the children received presents or letters from their parents, well, the teachers and everybody that worked in the residential schools would keep them and, well, throw them away or just put them in the box somewhere and never to be touched ever again. And that's only partially of what happened in those schools. Now, what would happen if they didn't follow these rules? What would happen? What would they do to reinforce these rules? Well, when a child didn't speak the language in English or French, there were needles that were inserted inside of his tongue. Leather straps were used to hit the children in various places on their body. They would beat them, they got burned and scalded. They were starved, shamed, sexually abused, and sometimes they got locked in closets, cages, or rooms. And that's just, again, partially of the punishments that they used to suffer there. It's not even the whole story, and it's already god-awful. This is a very important message because when there was 215 bodies found at Kamloops Indian Residential School, a lot of people, obviously flipped out. There was memorials created, everybody was posting it online, wearing their orange shirts. They were, posting Every Child Matters. It was a very huge deal. But I realized within like a week, not even, that all disappeared real quick. A lot of people were forgetting that there's still bodies being found, there is still children being found to this day. The estimates for the number of bodies found are 3,200 to 6,000. There is a lot that people can do to help. Well, the most that they can always go visit some of the memorials, leave presents, just remember the children. Also, there's many organizations where you can donate and you can call to be able to help, to be able to learn more about this movement, about what happened and how awful it is for these survivors to just have to go through all this trauma. For example, there's the Indian Residential School Survivors Society, which is based in BC. It provides services like counseling and also health and cultural services for residential school survivors. If you are a residential school survivor that needs help, that needs support, you can always call the National Indian Residential School Crisis Line, which is 1-866-925-4419. If you really do need any help with it, please contact this number. They'll be more than happy to help. There are multiple other organizations which you can donate, like Legacy of Hope Foundation, Orange Shirt Society, True North Aid, First Nations Child Caring and Family Society, Reconciliation Canada. So there you guys go. Another short little video where I wanted to talk about this is a very important movement. This is something that I take really to heart and I think about every day. So I hope you guys can learn a little something from it and know that it is still very important, even though we didn't just find the bodies. Just think about this, just even if you just have it in mind, the back of your head all the time, at least at least you're aware, and you can always react to things on social media, spread the word, because it's still a very important movement which needs to be talked about every single day, not just on September 30th. If you enjoyed this video and want to know when I post next, please click on the notification bell and subscribe and maybe leave a like. Thanks, you're so kind. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and bye, watcher.